Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review, and today we're continuing with the 90s on 9 month. If you have not seen last week's video, I am reviewing 90s figures on the month of September, which is the 9th month, so hence the term 90s on 9. Today, we're going to be looking at OUTBACK version 3. So OUTBACK, Stu, if you are watching, this review is for you, buddy. If you can see here in the background, I am getting the YouTube studio set up into the Dungeon studio. So all this stuff over here on my left side will soon disappear. Getting it ready for next month for October. We're going to be reviewing the weirder side of G.I. Joe, not only the creatures that were in the G.I. Joe line, but the weird vehicles or the obscure action figures. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into this review. Okay, so OUTBACK version 3. Here in North America, we only had 3 versions of OUTBACK in the vintage line. Over in Europe, they had 4, which included the Tiger Force OUTBACK. And over here in North America, he fetches a very high price. Tiger Force is a sub-team, and anything of a specialty in G.I. Joe, Night Force, Tiger Force, Python Patrol, all of those are at an insanely high price, especially if they were a Toys R Us exclusive like Night Force. So those were in a very limited number. They weren't made broad for a more general market. You actually had to go to Toys R Us and search for those. So version 3 of OUTBACK was a part of the 12 series. He only had a 1-year run, as they did in the 90s. I take that back. There's 4 versions here in North America. I forgot about version 4. My apologies on that. With the run being only a year, they actually took the same figure, slapped a new coat of paint on him, and called him another version. And to me, that's, I don't like it all that much. But it also gave the kids a chance to get that action figure if they missed it in the following year or the previous year. So it was sort of a win-win, and it just makes it harder for us collectors who want to get everything for that year or the year after, and so on and so forth. But sadly, the vintage line ended in '94, so that was it. So Hasbro was winding everything down by that time, and they were wanting to replan, retool everything, and try to keep up with the current market demand. And sadly, G.I. Joe, as my generation knows it, as it came to an end. Then they did Sergeant Savage. That line petered out, and we didn't see anything until 1997. And then they started coming out with more toys because there was a higher demand for it. People are saying, hey, where are my Joes? And so they said, okay, let's retool them, let's redo it. And boom, they brought it out in what we call the vintage style. So OUTBACK was released in 1993. This version of OUTBACK was originally intended to be a part of the 1993 Eco Warriors, and that would explain some of the weirdness in his paint scheme, and I'll point that out The Eco Warrior subset was canceled, and this version was released as normal G.I. Joe Battle Corps. And it was quickly replaced by a repainted Outback 94 that same year. Outback version 4 of that same year. The 1993 Battle Corps was numbered 1 through 36. Outback was number 13, and that version of Outback was discontinued in 93. So one of my viewers, I'm sorry, I wrote your name down when you made this comment and I lost that sheet of paper, so please forgive me. He pointed out that the numbers could have been used as a way to identify. Because I made a comment like, this, what's the point of numbering these? He said it made it easier for grandparents and parents to pick out that figure that you specifically wanted. If you said, oh, I wanted a blowtorch, or I wanted Outback, or I wanted Duke, you just said, the parents like, what? He just said the G.I. Joe with the number 13. There you had it, the G.I. Joe with the number 13. This is Outback. I happen to have a carded version of Outback, so we get to liberate him from the card. This guy came out the year I graduated, so I most certainly did not buy this. I bought very few Joes that year. I was still working, but I saved money for my cap and gown, which you guys know are pretty expensive. A yearbook, which, my goodness, I think I paid $35 back in 93, and that was half of my income for that for 2 weeks. I only made $60 every 2 weeks, and of course my senior prom I had to save for, and so that very little time for G.I. Joe, or very little money for G.I. Joe. I'm trying to find what his regional retail price. It was not listed here on yojo.com, but if I could remember right, these were maybe anywhere from $2.34 to $2.99. This guy, he's pretty interesting. He looks like he's a logger, which would really explain Outback. He's an outdoorsy guy. If he had to do a covert operation, he could be up there in the forest, pretending to be a logger, kind of like with Tracker, looking like he is a whitewater rafter dressed in a sports outfit, so to speak. So he could get into covert places and people would say, okay, well, this guy's just training for a whitewater competition. Or this Outback, he's training for a lumberjack competition, or he's just out here scouting for areas to thin out the forest. So I see the appeal behind this now as an adult, looking at it through adult eyes. That's how he could blend in. G.I. Joe is a highly trained special mission force, right? So if you want to be covert, you blend into your environment. Pose as a photographer, pose as a tourist, pose as this, pose as that, to gather information. So that's the way I see this Outback as being. So without any ado, let's go ahead and get into this version. I did not buy him, but I did see him in the stores. I remember seeing him at KB. This one was located on the second level of the mall that I worked in. This mall was very long. It was a quarter of a mile long. And I know this because of the Mall Walker Club that we had there. We lived right across, or we lived, the mall was right across from a very exclusive um, retirement community called Leisure World. And when I say community, I do mean a community. They had their own grocery store in there. They had their own medical clinic. They had their own fire department. So it was very, very exclusive. It was set up to where these people didn't have to leave if they didn't need to, but a lot of them would come over to the mall to where they could walk, get exercise, and air condition during the inclement weather that we have during 8 months out of the year here. Um, so they would walk 4 laps around the mall, and that was 1 mile. So that's how I know it was a quarter of a mile long. But anyway, second level of the mall was KB Toys. So I would go up there, and we had a bank inside the mall. So I had my check in hand. I'd go to the bank. They would cash it. And then I would go right upstairs to KB and purchase things if I wanted, or go into another store, purchase clothes or whatnot. And I do recall seeing this Outback, and just passed him up. I know I bought something from the Battle Core line. I'm trying to look at it. Oh, Wetsuit. I will be reviewing him eventually if I could find him. Might be next year. But yeah, I bought Wetsuit that year. I knew I bought one Battle Core figure from KB. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this review. There's a lot to look at here with this guy. Pretty interesting. I like his outfit. So let's take a look. Okay, here he is in his nice pristine carded condition. We'll liberate him here really quick. You see here on the back, we have all the figures that were available that year. They even mentioned DEF, which was very short-lived, Ninja Force, that was insanely popular. I do have Night Creeper Leader. Of course, I already reviewed that Alley Viper and Iceberg, but I'll be reviewing him eventually. Colonel Courage I have carded, so I will be reviewing him possibly next week. I already reviewed the Leatherneck and Bazooka, but you could see that all the figures there, he was worth 1 flag point. They were still doing those at the time. So obviously the file card has changed from the little file folder looking one. So let's go ahead and read his file card here. It says, Codename Outback, Survival Specialist, file name Selkirk Stewart, serial number 688T272413, primary military specialty, infantry, secondary specialty, survival training instructor, birthplace, Big Piney, Wyoming, grade E5. He is a sergeant. It reads it with a quote from him in the middle paragraph right here. I always teach three things: be tough, be dedicated, and kick Cobra butt. Now, if you could find a butt on a Cobra and kick it, you have all my respect. Out back here in the middle corner, or middle section, was an instructor at G.I. Joe Survival School and a Jungle Warfare Training Center. He had extensive experience in Central America, may or may not have participated in the clandestine operations in the Middle East. Most people are intimidated by wilderness and feel uncomfortable in that area where there is no sign of human life for miles. Not Outback. He believes in being a part of his environment, not its adversary. But he is well aware of the dangers surrounding him in a strange jungle or desolate wilderness, and he respects those dangers, which is why he has never been caught off guard. So all of his little accessories here are numbered. One, here up on his chest, a bulletproof canteen. Very interesting. Number 2, Here is a storage pouch for high energy nutriments. Number 3 is a standard issue jungle machete, and there's a quick pull shot grenade and metalloid hard hat, and so on and so forth. So we're here for the action figure, not to read about his instructions or about his accessories. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. Oh, here I was thinking this knife was sharp. All right, Selkirk, let's get you out of here, man. Trying to preserve the card as much as possible. Okay. So here he is. My gosh, he was all crinkled up inside of that card. Let me get a light shined on him better. Okay. Wow. Nice tight joints as you'd expect with a new action figure. Gosh, these are tight. Okay. Wow. I mean, really, really tight. Fear of breaking him. Okay, so let's take a look at him. You can see that there's this weird splash of yellow on his pants, which came from his supposing to be in the Eco Warriors. So that's why he has that chemical look to his pants. When I first saw this, I didn't remember that part. And I was sitting there thinking, my gosh, what happened to this plastic? Is this like a factory defect? Or did it get damaged over the years? But no, it was intended to be that way. So he's wearing this nice blue shirt, which is supposed to be denim. It's complemented by this burnt orange. Kind of like what we have here in my new background for the fall. His wrists are wrapped, or forearms. I guess that would help keep his forearms from getting scratched up when he was logging. Black gloves. He has these high boot socks or hiking socks. He has this Kevlar. This is supposed to be a Kevlar of some sort, or a very tough canvas over his boots. Black boots, of course. He has these pouches, a nice gold belt buckle. The belt goes all the way around the back, 2 back pockets, and he's wearing suspenders, or not really suspenders, but a Y harness to carry all of his gear. There's a machete right here, his bulletproof canteen, his grenade, and kind of an overpaint right there, but that's fine. These were rushed out. Wearing his hard hat with a microphone or a flashlight over the ear, and it has the fastener or the adjuster on the back of the helmet. Red hair and beard, red eyebrows and red eyes. If you remember in the 90s, they were rushing these things out, and thus they just made them as quick and as inexpensive as they could. He came with this rocket launcher, nice blue color, a lot of detail on this. A handle so he could prop it up on his shoulder, and all of his accessories here on this sprue. Of course, he came with a figure stand. 2 identical missiles. So let me pop one of those off here and try it out. Remember, the bevel side goes up. You could also see inside the rocket launcher how it fits. And this has never been used. Nice spring action on there. So here's his other missile. Of course, they reused a lot of the guns. This plastic is actually pretty soft, and I don't have scissors to pop these off. So this gun was reused with from originally from Hit and Run. It's a M14, I think. This one right here, I'll just cut that off later. But this one right here came with Sub-Zero. Can't remember who this weapon came with, but these were all reused. Very nice detail on all of them. I like the scope on this one especially. I'm wanting to say Rock Viper for that, but I could certainly be wrong with that. But there you go, guys. Pretty good figure. I like him quite a bit now that I'm seeing him through a more mature set of eyes. Now, I found these interesting scissors. As you can see right here, it has this little curve, and it's not sharp down here at the bottom. I got these from a suture removal kit. I had sutures a few years ago, and I used these to remove them myself, which I don't recommend people doing. The doctor should really do it before, to evaluate it before you open up or take the sutures out. I'm trained to do it. So anyway, what it does, you just hook right underneath the suture and cut it. So the back part of the blades are not sharp, and it was perfect for trimming these right off the sprue. So I don't need that expensive sprue cutter. I have that. So anyway, really cool figure. Now that I look at him, you guys know I like the bright colors. I don't mind this guy at all. I remember thinking, not really, even though I didn't have Outback. To me, this wasn't Outback. Outback was the survival guy with the white t-shirt. I didn't even have the Night Force Outback, but I like this guy quite a bit now that I'm really looking at him, and he definitely fits in with the 90s. So let's go ahead and see just how inexpensive or expensive this guy is on the aftermarket. So let's get into my favorite segment of Byron's Gripes. So thank you very much for those who just subscribed to me. I subscribe back if your channel was made public, where your channel name is public. So I really appreciate you guys finding my content worthy enough to earn your subscription. That's always humbling for me to see that. I do Byron's Gripes as a way of entertainment and also to give you guys an idea of what to expect. I use eBay just as a reference. I don't do it to pick on eBay or the sellers. The prices I do comment on because some of them are just really, really far out there. I get it. Vintage toys or anything vintage right now is very hot. People of my age group are trying to buy things that we had from our childhood, reminding us of a more happy time. So anything vintage does fetch a very high price, and that the antique market does wax and wane, as does everything. Like, for a long time you could buy comic books pennies on the dollar, right? Now they just skyrocketing. I bought a bunch of G.I. Joe comics anywhere from $1.99 to $2.99, and now they're worth 15, 20 times, maybe even 100 times the amount that I paid for them. So this guy, let's go ahead and take a look at him. Here we go. Just the action. Oh, this is version 4. Since there's a picture of him, I will show you what he looks like. He has more subdued colors. I mean, tan pants, black helmet. I like that one on him. That is a very good look for him. This one, he was supposed to be Eco Warriors, hence the brighter colors. But that guy, he's $1.90 or $11.99 without the accessories. I seldom quote auction prices unless it's very pertinent to, or very germane to this situation. Let's see. One carded. This is deal of the day. $25.95, but the person is wanting $13.90 for shipping. This is a trend that is popping up. It's kind of aggravating for me that people are making more money off of shipping, but the shipping rates have gone up, so I'm not real sure where they sit at the moment. I don't mind people making a few dollars personally, especially right now during this really crazy time. People, sometimes this is their only income, so I completely understand. The torso of this Outback is $2.50. Complete. Oh, wow, deal of the day, $20. Even with the figure stand and $3.95 shipping. I mean, this guy, it's looking real promising for him. Here's another one, complete, $31.49. That's another one. Okay, yeah, this one's really okay. $25. No accessories at all, just bare bones or better offer. His rocket launcher, $9.49. His guns, $8.99. A missile, $1.99, and that's really average for the missiles, $1.99. Here is a full card back, $2.99. The file card by itself, $10.79, which is getting to be about average for file cards. Another one, $17.99. Here is one carded. This is why I bought him carded. I got him very cheap 2 or 3 years ago on the card. $39.95. Here's another one, $35. Both of those deal of the day because they are carded. Missile, $1.99. Missile launcher with one missile, $3. Deal of the day. Another one, $8.99 with a missile. That's just a bit much. That's $25. He comes with all 3 guns. That's, yeah, okay. He's missing his missile launcher. Here's one complete, $29.97 or $29.77. Deal of the day. $4.95 for a cool full card back. Deal of the day. Another full card back, $4.99. The file looks like the flag point was cut out. Here's another one, carded, $35. Deal of the day. Okay, here we go. This one was found on top of Mount Everest, apparently. $95 for a carded one. If this was a later year than 1993 for being a carded figure, yes, absolutely. Deal of the day on that one. It would be. But $95 is a little much, at least for me anyway. $1.75 to $3 for missile launchers. His arms $1.50, waist piece $3.95, file card $4.73, but that's written in French. So that'd be cool if you're a card variant shopper. So anyway, guys, there you go. OUTBACK version 3. At these prices, I just might pick up version 4. Pretty interesting guy. Really cool colors. I mean, you could say he's wearing stonewashed jeans if you want, because those were still the in vogue thing for the 90s. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, I should say, those are coming back. Oh, why do I always get the hiccups when I talk to you guys? I'm sorry. So there you go. Cool figure. I like this guy. Pick him up if you can. So anyway, really appreciate every one of you tuning in for my show. I do greatly appreciate you. Remember, Friday Night Frights is coming back in October by popular demand. So thank you guys for shooting me emails asking about it. Yes, it is coming back. That is going to be a channel staple for as long as I keep this channel running. So all this stuff will eventually disappear over here, over my left shoulder. And it will be turned back into my dungeon. I'm working on getting some black curtains to cover up my mini blinds there, make it a little more ominous. Got the gargoyle there in the back. I will be having a special guest doing the reviews for me next month. He, Count Vampire. He said he spent enough time on his costume and clothing to only appear 4 times out of the 31-day month. And he said Friday nights just didn't enough. The guy, he's mental. Okay, so Vampire will be doing all the reviews for me next month. I'm sorry, guys. If you want to see me, let me know down in the comments. But he'll be doing the reviews. It's October, so why not keep it spooky, right? So anyway, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I do greatly appreciate all of you who have subscribed and have stuck with me over these 5 years. This channel has waxed and waned as channels do, and you guys you're very important to me, so thank you. I do greatly appreciate you. Remember, safety, sanitize, 6 feet, the triple S. Keep your hands clean, keep them washed, sanitize when you're out in public. 20 seconds, warm water, soap, get a nice lather, do the back of your hands between your fingers, scrub under your fingernails. There's a lot of stuff that gets under your fingernails that you don't want to know about. I'll tell you, I had a nail biting habit when I was a kid, and then when I found out in my medical program that I attended at a technical school while I was still in high school, what grew under your fingernails, that stopped me from biting my nails. That's how gross it is. So social distance, please. Mask mandates are coming out again. These variants are really keeping us on our toes. So guys, please wear your masks, talk to your doctors and family about getting vaccinated. This is really the only way we're going to get the upper hand on this, is to get vaccinated. So if you have any questions, please visit the Center for Disease Control website and also the World Health Organization website for COVID tips. I'm not a physician. I can't answer those questions for you. Talk to your doctor about those as well. So please, you guys stay safe. I want to see you around for many, many years to come. Having survived COVID, I will tell you it was not fun having that. Mine was a very moderate case compared to what I've been treating and seeing, and it's not pleasant. So please, guys, I want to see you around. Remember, be kind to everyone. A little kindness goes a very long way. You never are wrong for being kind to people. Especially be kind to animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. You guys take care. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review, continuing the 90s on 9. Till then, bye-bye.